Hi all. Now you will hear a brief retelling of the film about a medic. Enjoy watching. An ambulance arrived at the scene of the accident. Paramedics began to provide first aid to the victims. Among them is our main character Angel, who quietly stole glasses from a wrecked car. Walking his girlfriend Vanessa to work, a kleptomaniac added them to his collection of stolen glasses. With a partner, they arrive at the scene of the next call, and when Ricardo leaves the room, Angel immediately begins to rummage through the deceased old lady's things, your prey. That same evening, in a cafe, he sells the watch to a buyer, and he keeps the stolen ring for himself. Your dirty sneakers. Man wipes thoroughly, and the neighbor's rug. Returning home, he stepped into dog shit, who constantly barks at the neighbor's door. Angel is such a jealous guy. He suspects that they are constantly talking on the phone with some guy. Also, the couple has a more obvious problem. The girl has not been able to get pregnant for a long time. Now, Angel needs to check his livelies. Late in the evening, Vanya went to study, and the man is smoking a cigarette. Looks with hatred at the neighbor and his dog. At night, the dog's barking keeps him awake. Spermogram showed. What else does Angel have? That there are few tadpoles. They are also extremely lazy and are unable to penetrate the egg. Vanya is talking about this. Of course, he doesn't tell, but suggests just trying more often. While the girl is taking a shower, jealous guy reads her correspondence. Robertov's classmate was with the interlocutor. During the next shift, the victim began to have convulsions inside the ambulance, and instead, to keep an eye on the road, Ricardo started to turn his head and a truck crashed into them. Some time has passed. Angel, crying in the shower, Ivani tries to calm him down. After the accident, the man was left paralyzed from the waist down and now has to use a wheelchair. He constantly asks Enya to give him something and continues to be jealous of Roberto. By public transport, Angel gets to the rehab center, and along the way he learns about programs spying on a man through his phone. Ricardo comes to the couple's home. He seems to be worried about what happened. However, he does not admit guilt. But Angel is everything. What does he think about him? Says it to a man's face. Later, he asks Vanya to buy him ice cream, and while she's gone, installs a hacker app on her phone. The girl went to study, and now Angel is watching her movement around the city. At night, the dog again prevents him from falling asleep, and in the morning, he crosses paths with the hated dog, and his owner loves to bark at night. Yes, when there is one left. I visit my wife in the hospital at night. Rehabilitation has been going on for a long time, but still no results. Angel freaks out on the rehabilitation therapist and, not finishing the exercises, demands to give him a stroller, but the doctor forces the patient. Get to the vehicle yourself. He sniffs the doctor's hair with relish. Vanessa talks at the table that you are getting an internship, veterinary clinic, and work in a health center. She can only do it part-time now. Angel shits and swears. They say now they won't have enough money. This was the end of dinner. At night, a man watches a girl through her phone camera. The dog won't let me sleep again. And then the pain began to torment. Vanina doesn't answer calls. He throws an armful of pills, which he finds in the kitchen, and for some reason, he hides the bottle under mattress. In the morning, he runs into a girl for that she didn't leave him the pills, and also turned off the phone all night. I'm sure in the bath that she bought pills and left them in the cabinet. Angel is killed by her guilt and forces you to go buy the necessary medications right away. With one left, he takes a piece of meat and sticks it with needles. Later in the park, discovering the dog's roaming area, he calls him over and feeds him a dangerous treat. At night, Angel eavesdrops how they complain about him to their friend. She persuades the girl to leave him quickly. Returning from work, Vanya sees that Angel has arranged a romantic dinner and asks her to wear the dress he gave him. The girl is tense, and her favorite dish doesn't really lift her mood. The cunning man took preventive measures and does not give the stench the opportunity to leave him. He promises to be a good boy and even offers to refurbish the room. Understudy room. Taking Viagra, and Jelben got dressed to wake up his friend, but alas, he doesn't feel anything. While a disabled person takes a shower in the war, he discovers that her boyfriend had been spying on her all this time. In a rush, she collects her things and FLIs out of the apartment like a bullet, without even handing the asshole a towel. A month passes. Angel takes a swim in the supermarket and gets angry at his classmate, hall worker, who recognized him. He has just returned to rehabilitation classes. Sometime later, at the entrance, he meets a sad grandfather, already without a dog, and also without a wife, who died then. He celebrates the new year alone. After 3 days, a two-wheeler in a taxi approaches the call center. Where does he work? X and what? He sees her on a motorcycle, meets Ricardo and kisses him on the lips. Angel commands to go after the couple and stopped at a children's store. Girl pregnant by man, who made him a cripple. Later at his friend's doctor, Angel buys morphine. The next day he approaches Vanya and asks to go with him to say goodbye in a human way. Having reached home, he also asks her to go upstairs to pick up your things. There he is already starting to be rude and sends the girl to the room to get things. Upon arriving, he injects her in the ass and knocks her out. The prisoner came to her senses only in the morning, mouth and hands tied so that the neighbors don't hear the muffled scream. The disabled person turned on the music and left on business. Concerned, Ricardo left a bunch of voicemails on her phone. Angel, on behalf of Vanessa, breaks up with her lover and throws her phone into the river. The poor thing lay in bed all day, listening to the same tune on repeat. After this, she agrees not to scream anymore. Finally, Vanny was able to spit out the gag. Angel congratulates her on her future child, and then the girl starts screaming. Blooper's bandage returned to place. The ex-paramedic gives her another shot of morphine. The next morning, a concerned neighbor rings the doorbell. Grandfather is outraged that music was playing loudly all day yesterday, and he also saw how Avani came into the apartment, and he's sure he heard her scream. Angel lies to him that it was a prostitute. He tells the rehabilitator that he and his girlfriend are expecting a baby. In the evening at home, hiding behind a column, Angel was waiting for Ricardo. He is forced to confess that they are dating you, and that the girl has disappeared, which is why he is very worried. Angel pretended that he feels bad and quickly gets away from him. Vanny comes to his senses, but she can't feel her legs. Her ex gave her an epidural and temporarily deprived of the ability to walk. The girl is desperately trying to crawl away from this freak, but her efforts are in vain. Ricardo sends Angel one message after another and demands to reveal the truth if he knows anything Avani. But Angel has no time for him. He arranged a romantic dinner and announces that he is pregnant, that he plans to name the child Angel if a boy is born. For a long time, the girl behaved from ice cream, but then suddenly grabbed the wine bottle and broke it over her ex's head. She crawls and calls for help, but the needle stuck into the ass again, and the fugitive froze. A neighbor is banging on the door and threatening to call the police, because I definitely heard Vanya scream. Angel lets his grandfather into the apartment, and while here he's staring at the immobilized girl, the psychopath begins methodically stab the poor old man with a knife. To clean up, he calls the bandit on the phone, to whom I sold stolen goods packed in a box. Grandfather is taken away in a truck. The next guests were policemen. They question him, Avanessi and Ricardo, who contacted the police. Further, with the help of a flashback, we see how Angel finds things. Vanya keys to Ricardo's apartment, and under guard in the bathroom gives him an injection, and then pours poison into the throat through a watering can, and a huge amount of alcohol. He plants drugs on the murdered man's table. Angel managed to convince the police of his innocence. Crib assembled, and the expectant mother is getting used to being a wheelchair user. A man proposes to her, but the bride will receive the dead grandmother's ring only then. When will he start trusting her? Vanny asked to go to the bathroom, and there she found nail clippers. The girl had a fever at night, and Angel went to the pharmacy. Don't forget to put vanilla. Taking out wire cutters from a secluded place between his legs, the girl began to destroy the rope, shackling her hands. She managed to free herself, but my legs don't hold up, and the bath can only move by crawling. She breaks the door lock with a screwdriver. Falling and rising again, she climbed out onto the landing. And then Angel arrived in the elevator, panicking. Girl sliding down the stairs. The psychopath stalks her in the same way. During the struggle, he grabs the fugitive by the legs, hair and belly. Again, they begin to push him to the edge of the area and, not giving you a chance to hold on, and connects it with a screwdriver. After 5 flights, the body collapsed on the concrete floor. The girl's nightmare is finally over, and she burst into tears. Angel survived, but he was unlikely to be happy about it. He is completely paralyzed and fixed in a chair in a crooked state. Angel also lost the ability to speak, so I couldn't object when Vanny volunteered to look after him. From now on, I'll look after you. One can only imagine so many interesting things she will cook with this immovable piece of shit.